What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Gift of Gaming podcast, our 25th episode, and this is all things sports. So give the red card to whatever the hell you're doing right now. Sit back and enjoy some added time of sports chat. That's right, that's all the sports allergies I've got. We're going into the episode. Okay, it's me, your host, Darren Wade, and today on the podcast, I am joined by Kev Purcell. Good to have you back, Kev.
Thanks, man. Great to be here. Loved the opening intro. There's as many sports puns as one can pack in. Fantastic.
They were vague and crap at best, but I'll take them. Like, you know.
They were on the
I should really start planning these intros, but there you go. I would say you're our sports guy on the podcast, Kev, would be my, you and our other, so I'll just go for our other guest, of course. It's the PC playing, console hating, lore hunting, seeking full-time Canadian himself. Damn it, Chris, I'm so sorry. I let you down every week.
That's all right.
But yeah, I think we're probably I'm joined by two of the big sports guys of the podcast.
Yeah, I didn't think I actually played a lot of sports because I haven't really played much in recent years, but I started going through like my back catalog or like games I played when I was younger, and it turns out the list is pretty big, a lot bigger than I initially thought.
What about you, Kev?
Yeah, I found it like similar enough. Like I think I've always played at least a version each year of a sporting game that's come out, like whatever discipline it is. I'll always usually have one on the go. But the same thing as Chris. Like I was thinking back at the ones I played when I was younger, and it was like mostly sports games when I think about it. Yeah.
I was looking back at my 90s kind of sports games, sitting there playing the PlayStation 1, kind of into PlayStation 2, and there's a lot of sports in there. But I figured sports was a good idea because here in Europe at the minute we got, the Premier League kicking off. Or the English Football League kicking off, which I'm a good fan of. We've also got like the autumn internationals preparing our rugby team for the World Cup in November. I was it's a good time for sports. And tonight, fellas, Wigan Athletic themselves, my boys, are playing it. Have you guys ever seen? Do you guys ever watch Wrexham?
Yes, I watched that.
Yeah, they're playing Wrexham tonight.
Oh, nice and friendly pre-season.
No, Carabao Cup first round.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. And it's funny because anytime, so I'm off down at Danny's tonight. We're going to watch it because he's got all the channels or whatever else. But anytime, Wigan are I love them. They're not the best team in the world, and because they're now in League One, they're rarely on television. Yeah. So part of me is like, oh, Wrexham, that's fun. But the only reason it's being shown on TV is because it's Wrexham. Nothing to do with Wigan, just because everybody loves a bit of a Hollywood superstars taking over a team. But I was like, yep, that's what I'm going to do. My jerseys, my sports Wigan jersey, because I'm a big sports fan, is currently drying. Going to wear that down. Crack a beer, be a lad.
Yeah, that's class. I actually love that show as well. It's so much fun, to be fair, the Ryan Reynolds stuff. Yeah. Absolutely hilarious.
It's weird.
Oh, is that his team? I should probably know that. If there's any soccer teams I should know, it would be that one.
Well, you should watch Wrexham. Wrexham's like, even if you're not into football, it's a very interesting insight into the idea that like just Hollywood movie stars who are amazing on social media or just like really good friendly personalities for the most part can actually lift an entire community and their football club, and they're not there just to like do it as a publicity stunt and to make more money. Like they actually care. Like Rob McElhenney learned Welsh to actually be able to speak to the fans and
really?
Yeah.
Wow. They
went over to they've appeared on loads of like Welsh or local TV programs as well. I think that they cooked they went onto like a morning show and cooked with like a local Welsh woman who did all the Welsh dishes, and she was speaking Welsh, and they're just the two of them together are very funny because they're playing off each other, like Ryan Reynolds being the superstar and no one really knowing who Rob is because he's TV money as opposed to Hollywood money. But yeah, Chris, if you're interested in that, well worth the watch.
So good.
It's the reason I get to see Wigan live tonight, so
putting them back on the map, like
exactly. Yeah. So sports events, fellas, what are you most looking forward to in real life at the minute?
I'm a big Arsenal fan, and Arsenal are on a good run from last year, and they just won. What did they call
Community
it?
Shield.
Yeah, Community Shield. Yeah,
nice.
It's funny whenever like a club wins, like one of those like lower level trophies, like the begrudging that happens. Like all the United fans, Liverpool fans, like, oh, that's only a tin cup, but like it's something. It's got something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you better believe it. What about you?
I mean, pretty stoked for Rugby World Cup coming up, obviously, but. I mean, I'd be remiss not to bring up, maybe not quite the sports we were thinking of for today, but as far as esports goes, Evo was this weekend, and I'm still kind of
on a high from
reeling.
that.
Yeah, it was real good.
I watched them. There was a really cool. I watched the fight where, and because good for us to talk about because you'd brought it up on the podcast previously. The accessibility levels that Street Fighter 6 had were insane, and we watched the blind guy.
Yeah, blind
clip.
warrior Evan.
Blind warrior
he
Evan won.
made it to quarterfinals in his pool, so he won 2 games, which is still
so
pretty
impressive though. Yeah.
I thought he was taking the piss at first because he was literally just wearing like a blindfold around his face. So I was like, "Oh, who's this?"
He's just Daredevil in it, like block out all the other senses.
But then, like, not a handler, but like one of his helpers came up with his sticks afterwards, and was like, "Oh, this guy was legitimately blind, and he is competing and winning,
winning with style as well." I was watching his fight; he was playing as E Honda, wasn't he?
Yeah.
My
friend was on Discord with me, and he was losing his mind. He's like, how's he blocking like high and low and high and low?
I was actually going to ask that. So he was blocking, was he? Like, I just assumed absolutely. He was getting like stuck into like really long combos, and then it was just like almost juggling.
Everything. Like, there's a cue for like when they jump. Yeah. There's a cue for how close they are.
You should watch the video, Kev, because when we did this in a news episode, I don't know if it was like May or April or some of this ages ago now, we watched the video before we came on to do the podcast, and it was what it sounds like to play Street Fighter if you're blind based on all the different sound effects. So like there's a beeping depending on your distance away from the fighter and the moves. It's all just different noises. And I was kind of saying, wow, like I was watching that video being like, I'd be an absolute mess if I had to work with that. But like to go to EVO of all places and to get as far as the quarterfinals and win, amazing.
That's so impressive.
Any other highlights from EVO, Chris?
Yeah. It was weird though, because they had like 7,000 contestants in Street Fighter, so like a lot of the fighters that I wanted to see, they didn't even stream them because there was just so much going on. So like there were some Justin Wong fights that they didn't stream live, some Daigo fights, so I was pretty disappointed in that. But I don't know, it was pretty good. There was a lot of like crazy announcements, new Mortal Kombat trailer, new character announcements for Tekken.
I saw those, Raven and a new character as well, and I was disappointed. I thought that they would have had Tekken 8. Maybe people don't have enough time to practice it or whatever, but I thought they would have had Tekken 8 as opposed to 7 as part of the tournament there. But it was still Tekken 7, wasn't it?
I think there was demos.
Yeah, that you could play, like the closed beta test. Actually, which I played Tekken 8 in the closed beta. Yeah. I got back from my holidays just in time to do a day of it. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
I got whooped. I got whooped so bad. Oh my god! Because it's. I was on the second week, so 2 weeks. The first week was PlayStation 5 exclusive, and the second week was for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. So I was playing on the second week, and I guess lots of people already knew because there's like a new technique called heat and stuff in it. Weird one to say that all your characters are on heat. Do you know what I mean? Weird phrasing, but no, that was great. So yeah, and you were saying that the Evo has now been recognized as a legitimate.
Well, we'll say that one for the news episode.
We should. Yeah.
Get back on track here with the actual sports.
Speaking of news, we'll mention at the end of this month, but Colin brought it to our attention today. Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, so annoyed.
I'm bitter isn't even doing it justice. All this thing of like a new, aging thing going up in South Korea, and then Rockstar putting up a brand new Red Dead Redemption logo up on the website. It had the makings of like, oh wow, a remake of this one. Porting it to PS4, not even PS5, PS4 and Switch, and charging $50 for it.
So rough.
And it's the same game from 13 years ago.
Nintendo paved the way for things like that. And it's just like, well, we can, port these games to a new console and sell them for ridiculous prices.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I mean, the idea of playing it on Switch entices me, but it's like, no, I'm not gonna. You're not getting.
I had the exact same thought. I was gonna get it. I was like, straight up, I was like, this will be perfect for the Switch, I think, because I'll just have it. I don't think the gameplay, like, will it transfer as well onto the Switch? Like, will it look the same? Will it run the same?
To me, I can't imagine it running
how
the same.
Could it?
Yeah.
But I was excited to get like another crack at playing with John Marston, and then I saw the price tag and I was like, how?
How can you do that 13 years later?
Yeah, come on.
No, enough about the Wild West, guys, because the Wild West isn't sport, okay? Sport is sport. And the kickoff, we thought we'd talk about our favorite sporting games that we enjoyed, even whether we're young or even today. And I guess, I mean, Kev, Chris, which one of you would like to kick us off on which sporting game kind of got you going, got the juices flowing when you were young and playing video games, or when you're playing video games today?
Young.
No, you can be whatever you want, Chris.
Yeah. This is what surprised me, because I know I played a lot of sports games, or a few when I was a kid, but I didn't realize how many. And honestly, some of them are just like vague memories because I was probably like 4 years old at the time. But I remember like when I'd go up and visit my dad, he had a normal Nintendo and very few games, but one of them was RBI Baseball, which is your just like simple, like pixelated, and it was so hard. Even just like trying to get your guy to run from base to base was just a challenge. And like he'd stomp me all the time, but I remember playing that for hours and hours and having such a great time. And I remember in that same town, they had a local like movie rental shop. They had a ton of NES games that you could rent out for free. All you needed was like a rental card. Yeah, you just show up, you trade your old one in, and you get a new one.
That's sick.
And I remember like we'd pick up Super Spike Volleyball. I don't know if you guys did you play that one.
But I know
it was just 2v2 volleyball, and you're just these buff dudes like topless on a beach, and just like it was the most satisfying thing when you lined up the perfect spike and you just like knocked the other guy out.
I'd love if it was playing that like super sexy Top Gun music.
Oh, that'd be perfect. Wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean the NES list goes on. Tecmo Super Bowl, Excite Bike actually was another one my dad owned. Played a lot of that. I don't know if it would qualify that as a sports game, but
I'd say so. Yeah, you can consider that a sport.
Yeah, and then there was
any hockey. Surely hockey.
Yeah, there's
surely hockey.
Come on, hockey, and those will be the big ones I'll talk about.
Let the team down, Chris.
Yeah, those will be the big ones I talk about. I'll give you guys a chance to weigh in, but actually, yeah. And anything on your part?
Oh yeah, okay. So speaking of Tekken, one of the ones I wanted to bring in was Tekken Tag Tournament 2 had a Tekken Bowl mode.
What? Like bowl?
Oh,
bowling.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And there was a time I had fractured my wrist. I was quite young. I'd fractured my wrist trying to be stupid and flipping off a swing set and fractured real bad. And at that time, it was the kind of, you were at an age where with your mates for people's birthdays, you'd go to the Leisureplex. Up in Coolock, so we'd go for a film and then maybe some bowling afterwards. 100%. And it was one of those things where I couldn't do the bowling. It was my right wrist, it was my left wrist, but parents were super like, oh, okay, you can't do any of that, you could hurt yourself, whatever. So I was like, okay. So then I remember I was like, wait a second, I shouldn't feel bad about missing this birthday party. I'll play some Tekken Bowl. So much fun seeing my favorite characters like my martial law, like my Bruce Lee lookalike, doing all their mad moves with a bit of Tekken Bowl. Very simple concept, but very enjoyable. Kind of like a modern, like a Switch bowl or a Wii bowl.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, like, how do the mechanics of it work? You just like line it up.
Your character, there's Paul Phoenix all hunched over holding a bowling ball, and you just move him a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, and roll it. And I think maybe there might have been a bit of a spin that you could
like
have possibly.
A power bar or something.
Yeah.
Didn't Tekken do that a bunch? I vaguely remember like a volleyball mode or something, like trying to keep the ball up.
There was in Tekken 3, there was a beach ball mode. That was actually incredible. I forgot about that existed, because now I have these images of playing as Gon, that dinosaur character from Tekken 3. Yeah. So you could do a beach ball where you were on either side of the arena and you'd kick the ball, but depending on how hard you hit it, it was how hard it would come at the other person. But there's loads of different balls you could use. So the beach ball was like you could power it up normally or whatever else, but then there was like a death ball that if you hit that in a certain way, it was an insta kill on the other. So that was a lot of fun too, actually. Yeah. But no, more Tekken Bowl for me. But if I'm going for kind of really good memories of sports games when I was younger, I'm really into racing. So I watched a bit of rally when I was younger. I'm big into the Formula 1 right now. But I loved Colin McRae Rally from 1998 in the PlayStation 1.
Yeah,
great game. Recently I was scrolling through Instagram and I came across I think it's The Retro Gaming Guy is the name of the channel. I could be wrong. I'll find out maybe and put it up. But it's incredible in that it's like ASMR for video games. He has a massive collection of video games, but the whole thing is like him pulling out the next game of his choice, which in this case is going to be like Colin McRae Rally. Okay. He opens the box, opens the manual, does a little drag through the manual. You hear him take the disc out, opening the PlayStation 1. It's a whole thing that he does.
Full routine,
the full routine of all the sound effects and everything's turned up real high. And I watched then him actually have a little go at Colin McRae Rally, and I was like, wow, there is a blast from the past, because that starting thing where you're revving up your car waiting to go, and I can hear the guy in my head. He's like 5, 4, 3, like the voice counting down. But that game was insanely good, and I remember, although it probably wouldn't feel the same now, I remember the controls, like how well that felt to actually drive the cars was really, really good, like really smooth, kind of loose, like a rally car driving is, kind of like loose, not too stiff. And what I also like loved about that game was my dad was not into video games at all, but he was the one who would have gotten us our video games for birthdays, whatever else. The only things he ever really played were any racing games that we had.
Fair, yeah.
So he'd sit down with us and have a shot at Colin McRae Rally, which is some of my fondest memories, because my dad was like, that classic, get off the video game, come down here to your homework, blah, blah, blah. But if Colin McRae Rally was on, he was like, I give us a shot at that, like, Yeah.
One of my pals used to have, I can't remember if it was Colin McRae 98, but he definitely had one of the games, but he also had the accessory with the steering wheel and the pedals.
Nice, yeah.
Man, that, like, the fondest of memories playing that game, and particularly, like, always going, like, the view from, like, the
inside the car.
Inside the car. Oh, man, like, the realism was so awesome. You'd feel like the wheel shaking on a harsh turn and everything. It was great.
I don't know if the older wheels did it, but we got ages ago. We bought, like, it was for my dad because he played the racing games, and it was like a Formula One game that we had, and he had a cool steering wheel thing. But it was that if you turned it and let go, it spun back, so it was like that proper
realistic.
And I'd say if you were like for a rally game, because the way like the hard corners you see them when they're in the camera when they're racing in real life, all those drivers where it's like a full let go of the steering wheel to match it back to standard, and then I'd say that'd be really exciting. Colin McRae Rally, huge memories or really positive memories of that as well, because there was that slight little bit of tuning up that you do with your cars, which like I'm big into Formula One and all that goes with it now, but in video games I've got zero time for like how in depth that tuning up has become. Whereas in Colin McRae Rally back in 1998, it was like, do you want your suspension medium, low, or high? Medium, please. Do you want it fast, slow, or really fast? Really fast, please. that was kind of all you had to do in the game. So it was just got you straight into the driving. Whereas recently I played like a Formula One, was it 2022? And it was going into race. It was like, how would you like your car set up? And the menu just opened up.
Overwhelming.
Way too overwhelming.
It's like some of those mech games where it's just like, I don't know.
How many things do you want me to attach onto my vehicle here? Yeah. What about you, Kev?
The first one that jumped into my mind when the topic came up, it's FIFA. I love FIFA. Like, well, I played like a FIFA game pretty much
FC now.
Year. FC now, yeah. The news episode that you guys absolutely hit the nail on the head on that one. Exact same feelings. Like, EA are idiots letting that deal go. Or sorry, not EA, FIFA are idiots letting that deal go. Like, just free money for them. But anyway, so there was a spin-off series, FIFA Street. I don't know if, did you guys ever play that? Yeah, man, FIFA Street was such a fun spin-off to FIFA, for the main reason being that, like, it didn't take itself too seriously as a game whatsoever. There was no realism to it whatsoever. The fun was in the silliness of beating players with ludicrous tricks. Like, for context, like, I don't know if you ever saw this ad, Chris, but there's like this ad that was like big in Ireland and probably the UK where it's all like the top footballers at the time playing a 3-on-3 tournament, and you like first goal wins basically. It's kind of similar to that. The whole purpose is you just want to perform unreal skill moves, and like not getting realistic at all. Like if you were trying any of these moves in an actual game, someone's just cleaning you out. Like it's not happening. But that was it. Like that was the whole purpose. You would try and build points by taking players on, nutmegging them, whatever move you did, and like the complexity of the move would increase your points, but the moves were never complex. Like this game was it was almost arcade style. Like anyone could just be able to pick it up. Didn't matter if you were a football fan at all. Didn't matter if you had previous experience playing FIFA. It didn't translate at all. It was such a fun, and like
have they done any since?
So there's a few.
I wonder if the developers are the same people who made like NFL Blitz,
yes,
which is an American football game. Which
I think
sounds
it's in the same circle. I think it was remember that like sub brand of EA Big. Yeah, and there was all these like NFL Street, NBA Street.
Yeah, this one,
the SSX game series as well. They were all under that.
SSX,
They were just like peak, like from like the early 2000s to about like 2010. They were churning.
Oh my god, I loved NFL
sports
Blitz,
games out, like, and they were
bonkers. Like you could very few rules. Like we're talking about American football now, but like when you tackled someone, like you could do like a giant suplex and just it was.
Which would like absolutely get you expelled from playing the sport forever.
Yeah, you'd get in a lot of trouble. You'd run and drop kick someone, and I was like, this is how football should be played, or American football should be played. That's how it was
in FIFA Street as well. Like there was no referee, so like there was defending in the game. Like the whole purpose of the game was offense. Like it was just about offense. It didn't really matter about defending. You didn't really care if you conceded a goal all that much, because you just wanted to perform these tricks and score stupid goals. But you could defend in it, and defending in it was basically just running, jumping, and drop kicking a person. And like it did not matter how you hit them. The whistle wasn't being blown.
It's funny because the way games go, in my perception, especially with sports games, is let's say for this FC24 that's coming out. Of course, one of the things I want to be able to play on it is a realistic, soccer game. It's what it's made for. But I think games don't have that. Like, there's very few stuff I remember from me in my like early to mid-teens where games were just bonkers fun. Yeah. Like to think of EA now, or this like FC24 game having a street mode where you could drop kick a player, it just wouldn't happen now. And I wish it would. I mean, I don't condone violence or anything like that, but I mean, like, that's just fun. It's easy. It's easy going. It doesn't take itself too seriously.
They have added, I can't remember what year it came in, but it was probably around like 2020 or so. They did add like a FIFA Street spin-off to the main FIFA games that were coming out, and there will be one in FC24.
I think I played the one for 2022.
Volta, was that? I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Volta. Yeah. So it's just a spin-off version. You play a 3-on-3 game, but like it doesn't recapture any of the magic. No, it's realistic.
That's the problem. That's the thing, because I remember I think FIFA 2021 or 22, whatever one that Volta was on, was the last FIFA game that I owned, and I remember going into it being like, "Hello, FIFA Street, welcome back." And I kind of thought, like, have I gotten really old, or is this not the same game that FIFA Street was?
It's because it was just
because when I play through I can't play like especially FIFA games. I don't play competitively online because I'm not very good at them. I've been playing them for years, but I'm not very good at them. I just play against an AI. I try and figure out how the AI works, and I just beat the AI forever. That's what I do. Yeah. And I can online. I just get my ass handed to me. So going in to play that Volta thing, whatever it was, all these tricks and stuff like that they would have had, I just didn't have in my repertoire. Like,
yeah, because like you have to like the way like the mechanics for the newer games, like the sporting games work, it's all like triggered with the right analog stick usually. So like you have to know the combination of where you're moving it. Whereas the original FIFA Street, it was like press left and square.
And to do a somersault.
To do some stupid move. And that's all you had to do. And that's why it was just so just available. Like you could just instantly pick it up and be good at this game. Like it didn't take a whole lot. And there was an Irish team in it as well. Just give them a shout out. It was absolutely hilarious. They had like Kenny Cunningham in this game. It was so weird. But it kind of spun off because like they churned a few out in a row. Like they did one in 2005, 2006, and then they brought out another one in 2008. And by the 2008 one, it wasn't the same game anymore. They just kind of lost.
Sometimes the same thing happened to the NFL Blitz. Yeah. It's the novelty wore off, you just like, you could have stopped with the first one. I'd still rather just play that.
Oh yeah, I'd go if I wanted to play another one. The 2005 one is the one to play. It's the best one. They hit the nail on the head first time around.
Drop kicking in defense.
That's what all you need. Do. Yeah, it was ideal.
Chris, what else you got for us?
So actually, this is going to be one of the more recent games I've been playing. I picked it up when it was in early access. It's been on my radar for years because it was an old Kickstarter, like crowd funded project. It's called Tape to Tape. It is a hockey game that is.
There we go. There it is.
There it is. Of course they were coming. I mean, I could make this whole list just hockey games, but it's an old school, it's a cartoony kind of like pixel hockey game that's stylized around NHL 94, which is arguably the best hockey game of all time, and often makes like top 10 best like sports games of all time, depending on which site you're going to, but it makes a lot of the lists. But it's the twist on it is it's also a roguelike.
Oh my god, because it sounds like your dream game.
It's so good. So like the team, like the players you get, the stats will be different. You get like power-ups and special moves. Like one special move is you just whip your hockey stick and just like fucking take someone out. But there's another power-up where like it's called bribery, where you bribe the refs and they'll start checking the players on the other team, and it's just fucking bonkers. I had a lot of fun.
Do you need to know how to play hockey to play some of those games? Because I've had a crack at playing like some NHL games, and I played some of the earlier ones. I don't think I played 94, but I definitely played some on the PS1, and them I was able to play because it was really just like move your character, pass the ball, shoot the puck, and that was about it from what I remember. And like defense was just kind of about like getting in the way, and you could do like some body checking, but there wasn't a whole lot to it. I downloaded like NHL like 22. I think it was a free download one week, and I took it. I couldn't fucking play the game at all. It's because I don't know hockey, so I couldn't play it.
They got a bit complicated, and especially when they went to like 3D perspective and you could like dangle the puck and it got a bit wild. And to be perfectly honest, like I said, 94 is arguably the best. That was early SNES. My personal opinion, the best hockey game and one of my top 5 games of all time is called Blades of Steel for the NES. It is made by Konami and it is fucking nuts. It has this like fixed, like it's left to right, but it has like a fixed height camera. So like the camera only moves left to right and it'll follow the puck. And you control it's 5-on-5 on the ice plus your goalies. And you control one of the players, whoever's like flashing at the time. But those controls are also controlling the goalie, which is kind of unheard of in hockey games. You normally have no control over the goalie whatsoever.
Yeah.
So if like you're off screen, your goalie's off screen, and they take a slap shot from the other end of the ice, you kind of have to remember, just like, shit, where was I skating? Like, where's my goalie going to be? So you got to like kind of like move them, and you can get just the nuttiest shots from across the ice, which makes it super fun. And
was
the other
boxing in it as well. Do you remember? Like,
yeah.
That was the best part
because there's just because it's made by Konami, so some like Japanese game designers and developers obviously had to watch some hockey games to understand how to like some rules,
point,
right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if they didn't understand the rules or
preferred their own version,
or
of the
they
rules.
came up with a way to make hockey infinitely better. But every time you get into a fight, which is a big part of the game, you go into this like side by side like 2D fighter like boxing match, like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and whoever, instead of like in normal hockey, 2 players get into a fight, they both get penalties, right? But in this game, whoever loses the fight gets sent to the box.
Yeah, so, that's the way it should be. That is way
exactly.
better.
That would make hockey so much better. And like the other stuff, it was the first time I've ever seen like blatant advertising in a game. So like in hockey, there's 3 periods. So there's 2 intermissions. And during those intermissions, they'd go to like a Jumbotron and show like a little video. And whoever was winning the second intermission, or like whoever got the most points in the second period, something like that, you played this like mini game on the Jumbotron of Gradius, like the side-scrolling shooter.
Yeah.
And once you got through that, it would show an ad for a game like Blades of Steel, Jackal, Contra or something. And then it would go like in big, bright letters, like what a great game, amazing graphics, awesome music. Then flash to even bigger letters, all your friends will want it. And then it'll flash the Konami logo, and then back to the game.
I love that. It's like focused on little children's brains.
Yeah.
Like your friends will have this, so you want it too.
Exactly.
That's mad because advertising in games is a thing that I'm surprised hasn't, like surprised, but also relieved it hasn't taken off in a
Like this was
much bigger
blatant,
way. Yeah. I thought we'd be in a way worse situation. Yeah, fair. Hockey games, I'm like that. You know, you've heard it here, guys. Chris recommends that game. He's Canadian. He knows what he's talking about.
Blades of Steel it's so fun, and you don't have to know any. It's 2 buttons. It's NES. It's super easy. It's pass and shoot.
Yeah.
That's all you need. My next one is, I enjoyed it because it's the only one of its kind that I've played, but I know it's an inherently bad game. I think it was just called Rugby. But they just call it Rugby?
Oh,
they had
wait. Are
different
you
years,
talking
but
about
they
Rugby
changed.
2004, like the first
I
rugby
had that
game
one.
ever?
That was one with like Martin Johnson on the cover, and the Lions had just done like a tour.
Oh, I
Yeah,
can't remember.
I think
Yellow jersey.
Yeah,
on,
so that's, I know that one. I think the one that I played was bit more recent than that. I think it was a 2013 rugby game. So it had the Ireland team in it, and I think, but again, it's a pity because rugby is such an exciting sport. For me, I mean, listen, I love watching football, but for me, rugby is possibly the most exciting sport out there in terms of non-stop action all the time. And I was like, wow, rugby game. And myself and Danny, who were big fans of rugby at the time, we were watching everything. We both chipped in and we bought this game. He was coming back from work one day, it was like, hey, I picked it up. Do you want to come down and play it? And we played a lot of it because it was the only rugby game out there. Not a good game.
I think I had the same
Not
one because
a
it
good
wasn't great. Like
No.
like the mechanics of it were like, it's not game realistic. Like it wasn't really rugby. Like if it's the one I'm thinking of, it was essentially impossible to turn the ball over.
Yeah,
right?
you couldn't do it.
If you had it, right? So like if you were receiving a kick from the from the kickoff in the first half and you got it, the player you're playing against might, if it's not against the CPU, they mightn't get the ball in the first half. If you just manage to keep going around, turning it over, don't kick at the touch, you just hold it, they might not get the ball.
Yeah.
It was really kind of like broken in that way.
Yeah.
But once you figured out the mechanical breaks, it was great crack exploiting them.
Well, you obviously had more fun than I did, Kevin, because me and Danny did not figure out these mechanical breaks. We had a game that was, and like the problem was we didn't understand. We didn't bother with the tutorial. There's your first problem. Obviously, probably should have. But there was the time.
I know the rules of this sport.
Yeah, I've seen this sport, never played it, but there were times where we got the ball or like a penalty would be given or a knock on, and it would go into a scrum. And we're in a scrum all of a sudden. It's like, well, you have to press these buttons in this combination to actually move your players. I sit there. I lost every scrum. I lost every penalty. Every line out I lost. I was like, this game is like absolutely impossible. But because it was the only rugby game that I think you could get out there, we just kept losing too. Even put an AI onto easy. It wasn't that the AI was difficult. It was that every time there was that 50-50 for a line out, a scrum, whatever it might be, couldn't get it and couldn't kick a penalty to save our lives either.
Yeah.
Couldn't get that down either. You know what I mean? Man,
That's very consistent. A lot of rugby games, because like one of the ones that was on like my list is like this little mention was the Jonah Lomu rugby game.
Yes,
and, like Jonah Lomu like 98. No, was it 98 or 82? No, yeah, it was like 97 because the whole game is based off like the 1995 Rugby World Cup.
Yeah,
and I was watching some gameplay of it on YouTube because like I fucking haven't played the game in probably like 25 years or something like that. Like, but it's so funny when you go back and watch it. Like, it hasn't advanced that much. Like,
no,
like it really hasn't. Like the same issues. Like the kicking was next to impossible,
and even the running. Like I remember watching it because we'd spend all our time playing FIFA. So I think that's kind of the standard for sports games. You know, as much as I think FIFA could do with a lot of improvements graphically, they don't really make that step up every year. It's still, I think, the golden standard for what a good sports game is. And it's been there for so long that I'm like, well, this must be somewhat easy to emulate. And the rugby games just look so... One of the things that really... I mean, it gave me and Danny quite a laugh, in fairness, when we watched it a lot, was their little leg... Like, the way they were animated to run. Even in 2013, it just looked it looked so weird. It gave us great laughs. But I have great memories of playing that with Danny. Like, I think we played it for maybe 2 nights, and then that was it. But... like, hilarity ensued because of how badly we're losing and how bad the game was, but it was fun to play this bad game, you know? Fun to not know what you're doing.
The rugby game I played, I remember picking one up because I was playing rugby at the time, so I thought it'd be exciting to also try out a rugby game. I had the opposite problem. I couldn't lose. Like, I seriously broke the game. All you had to do every single time, just throw it out to the wing and run down to the line, then run straight, and they could not catch you. It didn't matter. It was try every time. It was impossible for them to stop you.
They're very flawed in general, these games.
So some of the AI in it, was questionable at best. But yeah, it's a pity because, like I said, rugby being at least for me, such a big sport. I know globally, like, you know, soccer is...
I don't think any get made any even at the moment. I don't think there's a rugby game in like production at the moment.
And which is, well, again, it's different for me because I'm Irish and I follow the rugby, and it's great to have us as the number 1 team in the world and going into the World Cup as somewhat favourites potentially. Like, there's all this hype around it, but I've got no video game to expel that hype into.
It's a shame because I would probably play one if it was good, but like, are these problems going to be is it just like the game, like rugby itself, that doesn't translate?
Yeah, but I mean,
I think that's it. I just like, why make a game like rugby, which would be pretty complicated.
Yeah,
probably
very
not,
complex.
especially the stop and go of rugby.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think
wouldn't
the
be
fact
that
that
exciting when you could just turn around and make something like NBA, which is just always action
in the flow. Yeah, because it's a contact sport. Like, so I guess this whole idea of the players are you're placed in certain positions to take contact at certain times, so it probably just doesn't translate into a gaming emulated.
And you've got like 15 on 15, so like if you're in control of one player, you have to rely on the AI to know for like the other 14 players to know exactly what to do for each position. Like, it's too much.
I mean, that does work because Madden games have been around forever, but you just select. But the way like American football is played, it kind of favors that stop and go because you're actually like the downs, you actually do stop, you talk with your team, and like, we're running this play. Yeah. So that's all the game is. You're selecting this play, so you know that your wide receiver is going to go in this direction. You pass it to him. Where rugby, you don't really have that pause to talk about the plays that you're going to run.
Yeah. Bad game. Don't buy it.
Okay.
Yeah, don't buy rugby games. Rugby games are bad. Okay, what else you got in your list?
Well, to maybe follow on from this like train of like sporting games that were just kind of trashy, but like they tried.
Yeah.
I don't know, Chris. This wouldn't be one in your repertoire, I wouldn't think. But do you remember in like 2005 they released a GAA game?
Oh yes.
Really?
I swear to God,
Yeah.
and it had 2 sequels as well. Would
It
you
did.
believe?
Yeah. I can still see the cover of it.
Yeah. Like this game, when it was announced, this was like obviously only in Ireland where people hyped about this, but like the hype train on this was
I'm just going to check out who. You don't know who developed it, do you?
yeah, I looked it up. So much Transmission Gaming they go by now, or Transmission Games.
Okay.
Yeah. So like the background on them is because that was the first thing I was like, okay, how did they get this game so wrong? Because like no aspect of it works. It's not.
When you say GAA, we're talking football, hurling, or both?
So they did GAA football, and then they did GAA football 2 and GAA hurling.
Okay.
So and none of them worked. None. Like the first one that came out, like everyone I knew through my GA club, like that was the Christmas game. Like nobody really was thinking about like the new Call of Duty. You weren't really thinking about the new FIFA or whatever. It was they're bringing out a Gaelic game, and we all love GA here. This is amazing. They're doing one for us, and like it's not game realistic at all.
No.
Shooting was impossible. You could only score goals. Scoring a point wouldn't happen, and that's just not indicative of GAA.
Which is the opposite of how GAA works. Like your goal is your rarity.
The off the ball players, they didn't know where to stand, they didn't know where to go. Hand passing didn't work, fuck kicking didn't work. Every kick, like you'd go for a point, would either go 100 yards wide or so short that the keeper would just catch it. It was so dreadful.
It was such a brave move though, because the only audience for that game is going to be an Irish audience.
Yeah,
like that game isn't going to sell anywhere else. Yeah. And we are a small country in terms of like from a gaming perspective as well. We've got a small-ish population. I can't.
At least back then, yeah.
It
was a sellout though. It did commercially well here. Like it could only do.
I'd say it was probably only sold here. I can't imagine that was sold to anywhere else.
I don't know why you'd bother, but the developers of it, like their history in sports games was they were an Australian company, and they would make cricket games, which like they're a little bit translation there for hurling.
Make niche
and
ones.
They also made AFL, like Aussie Rules football. So like if they were making those games, like Aussie Rules and GAA are very, very similar. Yeah. So I'm assuming the AFL games were trash as well, to be honest with you, because like this was so sucky. Like they didn't have any of the players' names, like so they were just like, oh, that's the midfielder. But they paid, like they must have paid a bit of money because like they got your man Michal O'Murtiga to do the commentary on it, and like he's a stalwart in GAA. Like he's like everyone knows who he is, so to get him, but they must have only given him like 10 lines, you know, like it was just a repetitive commentary.
Yeah. It's interesting though because GA players are, I mean, it's an amateur sport.
Yeah.
So I wonder from a licensing perspective, is it when these people, this isn't their full-time job or role, is there a real difficulty in licensing names out when these are just?
I think that depends on the company, because did you hear about all the NCAA shit that happens?
No.
Oh yeah.
Like with the professional, or sorry, not professional, but the college basketball players.
No.
Where they make NCAA merchandise and like games and stuff, and they use their likeness because the colleges own the rights to their likeness, but they don't give the players any money.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really bad for when like these like guys, like they like some of them like might have like a career-ending injury while they're in college, and they've come away with like nothing. But their image has been used, their name has been used across the board. Yeah, so it's like it really is shady. But that's changed now, right?
I think it's changed. Yeah, I think they shut that down.
Yeah, they definitely get something.
And I think they're allowed to take sponsorships and stuff now.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
But yeah, for a while it was literally they sold their likeness away for like a scholarship, which is pretty sweet. But like at the same time, like they could be just making millions because
off your
the
name.
NCAA makes a fuck ton of money. March Madness specifically is
sick,
crazy over there.
So Chris, you got any good games?
Do I have good games? Of course. Well, I mean, you know what? Fresh in my mind, talking about basketball, one of the best sports games of all time.
Yes. Yeah.
One of the best sports and games, NBA Jam.
Oh, great.
Nice.
Fucking fantastic. Bit on the more unrealistic side.
But we love that here. Yeah.
Yeah. Like turbo mode when your shoes would turn like bright pink. And like, I still to this day, if I see someone like running down a pitch or like at the gym or something wearing those really bright fluorescent shoes and like, oh, he's performing
Turbo
better.
mode.
Yeah, he's performing better because of them.
Was this the one as well where like if they threw an alley oop, like his feet would basically go on fire to catch it? And, like, the graphics for the animation was sick.
If you were on a roll, it would be like, he's heating up, he's heating up, he's on fire, and you like the net would explode in flames, the backboard would smash if you dunked. It was so dope.
So good.
But for us, like I mean, I know Kev, you play a bit of sports, and Chris, you used to, but like for us non-professional sports players, it's nice to have a game that's just a bit of crack. My basketball thing was in NBA '98.
Yeah,
that was a good one too.
That was my favorite one. That was one had its own character creation, and I remember we made a character for oh god, I'm really going to embarrass myself here. The Boston Celtics. Thank you. Yeah. Oh god, I'm sitting in between the two wrong people to mess up this basketball. And we're like, yeah, but we played as the Boston Celtics. So we made a character called Small Fry, who was as small as you could make a character and as fast as you could make a character, and could jump as high as you could make a character. And this dude was lightning. I loved him. Part of me as I was growing up used to think that Small Fry was a guy legitimately on the Boston Celtics team, because what was I, like 7, 8 watching?
All I can picture is a leprechaun.
I mean, you're not wrong. Such a fun game though, and like again, that was for me growing up with two brothers, great multiplayer.
Yeah, really good. I have an NBA game on my list as well. NBA Live 2004 was one of the more memorable ones for me. And that was an absolute banger where they like introduced like a whole new like playing style. So like you could play the dynasty mode, which would let you become like the general manager, the coach, and the player. So you could like facilitate trades.
Usually those are separate games. I mean, seems crazy. It's just like you're purely managing a team. It's like, I don't want to play that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Football Manager is a huge one in that
I know,
market.
that's what I was
crazy,
thinking of. Yeah.
I'm like, I love a good, like when I was playing through any of the FIFA games, it was always my favorite thing to do was to manage the team and the transfers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but if it's part of actually playing the game, well, I'm talking like these games are just management.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and the funny thing is, Football Manager is such a, it's a full price game, which of course it would be, but for me, because it's just a management sim, essentially, I'm like, I feel like that should be cheaper. Mm-hmm. It's the only reason I haven't bought it. I have looked even at Steam, Chris, which you'll be surprised at. I've even looked on Steam and everything. I've wish listed it on, I think, every store that I have, because it's out there for every console or whatever. And every time it goes on sale, I'm always like, is this the time? But I never do it. One day I will. But yeah, NBA 2004.
That one's like, it's really amazing. Like the because I find out, like I played the current 2K version, and like obviously the game has developed so much, but like it's the problem I had with like the NHL game. Like I know the game of basketball, so I can actually like play it. But the depth that you have to like go into to like organize your offense, your defense in the newer games, like it's almost like a bit much at some points. But the simplicity of the ones in like 2003, 2004, and when NBA Live, that was kind of when NBA Live was at the top of its game, really. I think like after about 2005, 2006, the kind of 2K started slowly creeping ahead of them. But when NBA Live was good, it was great. And 2004 version had some had like an awesome roster in it. Like Michael Jordan had just come back from retirement and he was playing with like the Washington Wizards at like age 40. But they had just like the game in that game, like that's when the year LeBron James had just been drafted. So you had like this cool like heads up match thing and they're going on. And, like the Lakers were at the top of their game in like 2003, 2004, and they'd like really advanced the mechanics of the game at that point. It used to just be like movement, passing, shooting. But in this one, like with the right analog stick, they brought in freestyle kind of moves in the 2003 game, which just made it far more realistic and more enjoyable to play. And they used to have the stupidest thing in these games, and they only had one button for shoot. So like regardless of where you were, you can on PlayStation it was tap square for shoot, but like. You could be a 5'6" player. You could be, what was your man's name? Small Fry. You could be Small Fry, like driving to the hoop, and fucking like Yao Ming, like 7'4", would just be standing in front of you. And if you were driving in, the game wouldn't think to try and shoot it over him, because you're in the lane. It would automatically go for a dunk or layup, and it would just get swatted away. Like it's the dumbest thing ever. Like you couldn't do anything against it.
Yeah, and it wasn't NBA Jam where you could just jump from half court and dunk.
But they finally adjusted it that there was a dunk specific button and a shooting specific button. And I was like, lads, that is the update of a lifetime. I was so happy with that.
Mbappe was a fine choice.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to jump ahead of you here, Chris, because I just want to see if you guys would consider this sport. I mean, I consider it sport. A WWE Smackdown.
Okay, I have those on my
all
list.
day.
There we go.
All
All
day
right.
long.
We're in
I
there.
have 2 on my list, actually. I don't think I played Smackdown, and I think the best one was considered No Mercy, but the one I played a lot of was on the N64. It's WCW versus NWO. I played a ton of that one.
That's such a cool one. I didn't realize like WCW had its own specific game. Like they have many, do you know?
I think they had a few.
My memory of them was always like WWE, WWF, like for the games. But maybe that's just like what was coming out in Ireland. Maybe I can't really remember playing that.
Yeah, this one was WCW versus NWO. It was a weird like mashup, and it was just tons of fun.
Yeah. I think because it was SmackDown was the first one where you could leave the ring.
Oh yeah,
and go to like the backstage.
Oh yeah, backstage.
And you could get in. You could get into
pick
like
up like 2x4s.
Yeah. There was one area. There was like a warehouse area that you could go into, and you could get into a forklift and just.
I remember that. Yeah.
As a kid, I had because that was multi-tap territory. So we had it on the PlayStation. SmackDown was PlayStation 1, I think. Maybe very early days PlayStation 2.
See, I played it on the N64, which had the built-in multi-tap.
Yeah. So like that was the great thing about like because again with Kev and Luke, I'd go down to their house on a Friday, and if my brothers were willing to spare SmackDown because it was really popular in our house, I'd go and bring that down, and we'd do like a Royal Rumble where it's like there's 30 people, so we'd all pick our 3. So you could make your own characters. So we each made ourselves in it. But a lot of the time I was playing as X-Pac because he's awesome. I can't believe X-Pac was my favorite wrestler. Thinking of all those amazing
so
wrestlers.
random. Yeah. What a time! Early 2000s attitude there was elite.
The Hardy Boys.
The Hardy Boys. Yeah, but you could like play as.
Although the Senton Bomb or Swanton Bomb.
Swanton Bomb.
It looks so dumb in the game. He was just like T-posing.
Yeah. Remind me again, but like if you were playing as like The Undertaker, which is when he was like his biker taker version, do you remember that thing?
Yes, yeah.
Was he able to like pick up his motorbike and use that as a weapon, or am I completely imagining
that? Sounds like something they would put in the game.
Yeah, like I mean, it wouldn't surprise. So there was a thing whereby you could take weapons from underneath the ring.
Yeah.
You could switch that mode on, and you could switch it to random or like, to have like extreme weapons and stuff like that. But yeah, you'd be taking out like, metal chairs or like that, baseball bats.
Or the tables.
Just like, and that's what I loved about that game as well. It took a lot of setup because it was a bit janky, but I remember like, let's say me and my brother doing like a tag team against someone else, and he'd be holding them off the ring, and he's like, get the table. So I'd be getting the table out, and he's fighting off 2 guys, and I'm quietly just setting up, taking the legs out.
You got to beat up the ref so he doesn't see it.
Knock the ref out, set up the table, and put it in a position where he can actually throw someone off it. But that was one of those games that I remember being younger playing that and being like crying laughing playing that game.
Yeah,
Smackdown games were so much fun.
Yeah.
Did you ever play WWF Royal Rumble for Super Nintendo?
No, that was kind of going a bit before my time.
Yeah, that one was so fun. It's kind of unbalanced though, especially in the Royal Rumble mode, because the whole idea is throw someone out. Yeah, and some people just had like special moves that like. My move was I think it was Razor Ramon all the time, and you just throw someone into the ropes. They'd come back, and you just like pick them up. Like you could be like halfway, like in the middle of the ring. You just toss them. Just toss them. They go flying. Yeah, they'd go flying out. But you'd have like in true Royal Rumble fashion, like at a time limit, people would keep coming in. So it's a Super Nintendo game, and you're just in this ring with like I'd try to see how many people I could get in there without eliminating anyone. It was just fucking chaos. I loved it so much.
The thing I loved about SmackDown as well was the special moves.
Oh yeah,
that everyone had their special move, and I remember like having to set it up, and I could never do Xbox ones because I think his one was quite tricky. But my Andrew played as The Rock, and it was always a thing where you'd have to just knock someone out right middle of the ring.
Oh, for people.
So yeah.
Love that so much.
Great.
Do you play any of them now? Like any of the newer ones?
I heard the newest one that came out was a massive mess.
Really?
For a long time, it took me a while to fix it. Yeah, like lots of issues. One of the kind of funny podcast games guys that I listen to, the main guy in that, Greg Miller, is a big wrestling fan. So much so that I think he's even been included as a voice in one of the newer games.
Deadly.
But he was talking about that. There was a lot of excitement about the one that came out last year, the year before, during COVID anyway, whatever one released during COVID. But yeah, unfortunately, one of those games that was very much broken on its release.
Damn.
I think it's good now, like that, but I think it was one of those ones that just should never have been released.
I tried to play one relatively like recently. I think there was just another one on the PlayStation store for free download, and it was like from like 2020 onwards, let's say. So like it's pretty modern one, and I didn't get it anymore. Like every mechanic in it's totally
Thinking
changed.
back, yeah, I'd imagine it would be you'd have to relearn everything.
You really need to know like wrestling. I think you need to, because like a lot of it's done with the right analog stick, and you need to know like if they're in like a certain, like their head's in a certain position, it's gonna like trigger a different move. And if you don't know how to do, let's say like a DDT, but his head's there, you're screwed. And I just didn't know how to do anything. I didn't have a clue.
So the lads got really into UFC. And
speaking of broken games,
so stupidly difficult game in terms of they were, again, it was Danny that had it for a while, and we were playing it, and they were like, "Oh, Darren, have a shot." So I think Colin was going through the campaign, and of course Colin made a really like hilariously stupid looking character, which I mean, and he was playing. He says, "Oh, you should do a fight or two. I'll put you up against this guy." Real like easy enough fight in his campaign, but it was this whole like left hook, right hook, left foot, right foot. And I was just getting absolutely stomped because there was this part of me that just didn't understand, I guess, is it the real life aspect of it? I'm not quite sure, but it didn't gel with me. Whereas I think in Smackdown back in 1997, whatever it was just like spam square until you knock the person out. And, then it was all about positioning, I suppose.
Even with complicated sequences, you can still make a good game as long as you don't make it like QWOP complicated. QWOP, the keyboard game, but
that was I've never heard that word before. Thank you for that, Chris.
You never played
QWOP complicated.
You've never played QWOP?
That's the one where you run with the guy and you have to like you move his like
control his body
from the shin and all,
but it's the same thing
so
when
difficult.
You're describing like right hook, left hook, or like right click, leg. It's just like each button like moves a different body part. But a perfect example of a fighting game that has the simplest controls, super fun but still crazy hard. Punch Out.
Yeah,
like they
super
perfected fighting games like the first time they tried. Or those kind of like fighting games.
I found with the UFC, I tried to play it like just because UFC was so hot at a point in time, and like I was just like, I'll throw an eye into this. And when they were on their feet, and like when you're controlling the left hand and right hand, I was like slowly getting that. But as soon as someone shot for a takedown, I was like, well, I'm essentially I'm out of it. I'm out of this game.
Not only do I not know jiu-jitsu in real life, I certainly do not know jiu-jitsu in game format. Like, that part was
so
quite difficult. I guess I'll go around the table and kind of, if you've got hit me with one more of your sporting games.
I mean, it'd be crazy if we didn't bring up the extreme sports like Tony Hawk and like 1080 snowboarding.
There we go.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk's is and for me 3, I think, because they remade
2 was the best of Tony Hawk.
Well, jury's out. For me, jury's out. I mean, I loved 3, and when they remade 1 and 2, I thought it was 2 that I loved. And when I think the 1 and 2 came free on the PlayStation subscription, and I turned it on, and I was expecting all of because for me, I just have this memory of starting off like, let's say, the back of the cruise ship in 3, and the moment the game starts, it's the din like Ace of Spades, starting off, and it was a game that made me feel like I was the coolest dude ever playing some Tony Hawk games. They were great.
The remastered ones as well, like they were fantastic remasters visually. Yeah. They look so good. Like they've just completely enhanced from the original ones. Really like them. They're so great. It's always nice like being able to play a game that you like the real life version of it that you're shit at, but you're great at the game. Tony Hawk's was so like you could get really good at Tony Hawk.
Every kid buy a skateboard and realize that skateboarding is fucking
I got one
hard,
for Christmas one year, being like, I'll just be able to do this.
I think the furthest I got was a kickflip, and I was just like, I'm never getting any better than that.
Stand on it once.
I never bothered getting a skateboard. I just used my sister's, so I rocked around the local skate park with a Buffy the Vampire Slayer skinned skateboard.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I just stood there so everyone could see the picture and just didn't skate at all because I couldn't.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, Tony Hawk's is great. SSS tricky.
They're great fun. So
I loved. I was a big 1080 fan.
Yes,
1080 snowboarding. Yeah,
like those.
SSX tricky was just a bit too over the top.
I mean, it was like kind of a mad. Like, it's like that. It would be like your FIFA Street, your NBA Jam. It was kind of the fun snowboarding one.
Yeah, not realistic at all. But it didn't need to be. You're just there for the fun. Like they're so good. Yeah, so good.
I think if there's, I mean, I have to give a shout out to the Formula 1 games just because I've been playing them forever. Only now they're too hard for me. I'm getting too old.
I think if I were to get back into racing games, I'd want to do the whole like VR experience. I think that's like the best way to experience VR
Get
right
one
now.
of those proper chairs, with
Yeah,
the steering
exactly.
wheels
Or
and
just
everything.
like the steering wheel, like
Yeah.
you mentioned, and the pedals. I think that would.
Do you ever see like the modern ones? You see people and they have like a screen, like it mightn't be VR, like, but they've got like a surrounding screen and they're in a seat that moves with
It
the
gives
steering
them,
wheel.
so it's
That's wild.
Like some
I
of
would
the
love
big
to do like
simulators.
Rogue Squadron with that.
Yeah, stop! That'd be amazing.
So I mean, be careful what you wish for, Chris, because I played Rogue Squadron in VR, and even without that, it was enough to make. I mean, it was one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had as an adult. Was playing that through VR, but man, did I feel sick for a while afterwards because I got into the hang of doing like barrel rolls and everything in it, and I took the headset off, being like, oh god, like I mean, it was, but that was an incredible way to experience a thing like that. But yeah, the racing games, and that's the thing as well. I think they're so much more fun doing them like that. Gran Turismo, I played a lot of with a steering wheel back in the day. And that was great, like playing it in manual, because as I grew up, I was always too scared to play racing games in manual. Then I became a driver and was like, oh, I can take it out of automatic and just try the manual thing. Now, it's different on a controller, but when you have the gear stick and steering wheel,
so awesome.
it's a great way to play, you know, racing games. Yeah, absolutely. Is that it from us, fellas? Is that it from sports? I mean, we're good.
What else do I even have on this list?
Like one sweet honorable. I can't believe it hasn't come up yet. Wii Sports.
Golf, that was on my list.
Yeah.
Golf, because I've become an absolute golf obsessed or Switch Sports person now.
It's so much fun that
Yeah.
I would take the Wii Golf or Switch Golf over one of the Tiger Woods games, and I used to like play a lot of them. I thought they were really good. They're great for immersion. Like they were quite accurate to like what golf is. You have to like know which clubs to use and when, backspin, forward spin, all this sort of stuff. But there's a lot to be said for the simplicity.
But that's what I mean. Switch Sports is the NBA Jam.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's what it
yeah.
is. It's like the simple aspect of it. Like we go down to Craig's plenty of times. If there was three of us and we're waiting for a fourth person to come play Smash, it would be like a game of golf while we wait. We do like 3 holes, 9 holes, whatever. It's so much fun. And the problem with a golfing game, or not the problem, is that, the pressure with a golfing game is that if you're doing like a couple of holes and you have that one bad shot,
gone.
So anytime you're stepping up there, the pressure's on. I love that.
You're nervous, yeah. And I was always nervous about putting the controller through the TV. That was like one of my biggest.
Craig,
especially our TV. Holy fuck,
Craig
man.
has like the night. I mean, you've got this huge TV, and it's so funny watching Craig because he loves people just getting excited to play video games.
Yeah.
But there was 1 or 2 nights where I've seen, like, let's say Niall or Kev or someone stepping up to take their shot, and they're uncomfortably close to the TV practicing, and I can just see Craig like that little like leaning forward, just about to say something. I don't want him to destroy my TV, but I don't want to ruin their moment. But like, there's sometimes like, hey, can you just like back away from the TV? It costs a lot of money, or whatever. But yes, like that whole Joy-Cons for it's a real deal. Chris, did you have anything else on your list there?
Oddly enough, it was another golf game.
Oh yeah,
Kirby's Dream Course.
Sick.
That game was that's the top-down one on those really small little courses, was it?
Yeah, and you can do the bounce and do the special
really
moves.
Difficult. I played that with Andy Garland. I think we both gave that one a shot because you can do 2
like
people.
Spinnies and you can definitely do 2 people.
I got wrecked on that game. A lot of fun though.
Yeah, I love that game.
Sports games, fellas.
we could hardly call that a sports game. Like I didn't even realize it was considered a golf game until I started looking back. Yeah, it's like, that makes sense.
That's kind of golf. Okay, so I guess what we're gonna do is we got a post show after this, and I'm gonna ask you guys the question through a fictional sport and a non-fictional sport you've experienced through video games. What one would you most like to be a professional of? So don't say anything here now. We'll just ruin the post show, fellas. But listen to our listeners. If you want to,
did Kirby's Dream Course.
I want to be a golfing guy. But yeah, if you want to listen to that, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/thegiftofgaming, where we've got a ton of extra content. And if this show isn't enough for you, there's loads more you can listen to. So give that a listen, sign up and help support your local podcast. Kev, Chris, guys, thank you very much for giving your sports expertise in this episode.
Pleasure.
Really appreciate it. And to our listeners out there, keep enjoying the gift that is gaming. Peace out.
Peace.
What's up, guys? I hope you enjoyed this week's show. Just a little added piece in. I forgot to mention on the episode itself. Next week, we are doing a games club, and we're looking at how much we enjoyed or didn't enjoy Final Fantasy 16. myself, Kev, and Craig will be taking a good look into that. For our Patreon users, for those of you on a Patreon, you'll be able to get that episode available to you on Monday as opposed to the standard Wednesday release, and everyone else will get it the standard Wednesday time. So if you're looking to get that on a bit earlier, make sure you check out patreon.com/thegiftofgaming. All right, guys, peace out. Enjoy the rest of your day.